All right. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to Some Random Guy Speaks. I am your host, Tony G, and we are about to get started today. Today is we're going to do the Golden Age for America Part 2, where I'm going to go a little bit a lot more in depth of what that really means and things. So hopefully we can win over some more people, even though we are pretty comfortable on the Trump train, I must say, but we always can, let's say, add more room on the Trump train. So we're going to be talking about the golden age for America. I'm very excited to cover this morning and things. I said, let me go ahead and do one in the studio and things, but yeah, so we're going to talk about the golden age. But before I do, we're going to talk a little bit about I'm going to probably show the video of the USAID slush fund and things like that. Show a video on that where people are talking about that. And we're going to also be talking about, besides that, we're going to be talking about Trump shut down the, excuse me, the education, right? The Department of Education. He's going to shut that down and things. So, yeah, there's a lot of things that are going to be going on and stuff. But as I talked about yesterday, we talked about Marco Rubio. You know, we talked about him yesterday and stuff. So I had to make a correction. I was calling him Mark Rubio instead of Marco instead of Marco Rubio is what I'm trying to say. So I apologize about that and things. I want to make sure I get his proper name right. Marco Rubio, there we go, which is the U.S. Secretary of State, you know. So I talked about that yesterday, so I'm here to make that correction and things. So yeah, so as I wait for some people to come into the room, therefore we can go ahead and kick it off. So hope everybody is having a beautiful morning and things. Having a beautiful morning. And yeah, do enjoy talking about this stuff. So welcome to the chat. Welcome to the chat once again. Welcome to the chat. Yeah, welcome to the chat. Yeah. So we're going to be talking about the golden age. So as I mentioned earlier, this is designed, hopefully we can get some more people on the Trump train. We got plenty of room. It's very comfortable on the Trump train. We're having a great time. We're not angry. We're not frustrated. We're not screaming and hollering. We're talking about what's going to be good for America and in the direction that we're going to be going. So we're going to be talking about that. So I got the bullet point key points, exactly what Trump is implementing. So we're going to go ahead and go into that very, very shortly here. I'm just waiting on a few other people. Therefore, we can go ahead and get started, though. So I hope everybody's having a wonderful morning today. It's something to be celebrated. Man, I mean, you know what? It's like when you see Trump and you see the policies, he's hitting them with flurries like in a boxing match. You know, when you just kind of getting jabbed, you know, hit here, hit there. I mean, this is what's going on. It's happening so quick and it's happening so fast that even the media, the propaganda media, there's legacy media, they can't even keep up with Trump. This is amazing, though. It's like every single time they go to talk about something, it's like Trump hit him with another jab. So he's hitting the media, hitting the left extremely hard, and they don't know how to respond. They are confused. They are in the days, as like I said before, it's like the boxing match, right? When I'm over here hitting them with a jab, hitting them, it's like flurries being hit, and they don't know really how to respond. But it looks like they are gravitating more on the U.S. aid slush fund thing. So because that's big, because as you already know, they already old Chucky Schumer. I'm gonna start calling him Chucky. Yeah, so 80 some odd $1 million. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, so this is the thing, ladies and gentlemen. We have plenty of room for people to come on board on the Trump train. It's not too late. We got plenty of room over here, you know. We are comfortable. We're happy. You know what I'm saying? So, we're not discombobulated. I mean, everything Trump been writing, signing well over 400 executive orders and things like that. So, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we got plenty of room. No need to hate, just participate, No need for hate, It's about sharing love. This is about America. We all are Americans. So let's go ahead and go into it. So I guess other people would catch up. So let's go ahead and talk about it. So President Donald Trump's golden age, right? The vision for America as outlined it, right? In his recent inaugurational address, right? Subsequent remarks and focus on several key talking points. Number one, he talks about the economy, right? The prosperity. Trump is promised to create a proud, prosperous, free nation. Think about this, ladies and gentlemen. A proud, prosperous, and a free nation. We've never been free since 1913. Let's just go and keep it real. Taxes is not freedom, right? And when you're paying taxes, you are a debt slave to America, right? It's that ugly four-letter word, debt, right? Debt and taxes. These are the two things that will destroy what we call our citizens in America. If you don't know nothing else, debt and taxes, it will not stop until you die. And then, and so forth. But here it is. So he's also going to be emphasizing wealth creation and economic growth. So this is important, ladies and gentlemen. So economic prosperity. Trump promised to create a proud, prosperous, and a free nation, emphasizing wealth creation and economic growth. Number two, immigration, right? Crackdown, which he already has been planning, declared a national emergency at the southern border, halt illegal entry, and deport millions of criminal aliens. It doesn't get no better than this, ladies and gentlemen. It does not get any better than this. And right now, we are seeing in real time, ladies and gentlemen, that Trump is carrying out his policies as promised, because we as Americans, almost 80 million of us, we voted for this. We wanted this. The number one problem, and this is where the left missed this, right? The number one problem is with the immigration, right? We had a lot of illegal criminals over here. Everybody that comes in here that's not vetted and come through the legal process is illegal. They are breaking the law, right? And Trump and his policies put a stop to it. Number three, energy policy, right? Before I go any further, we gave him a mandate because this is what we voted for. We wanted to have safety in America and then also to fix the economy. These were the two major mandates that many of us voted for when we voted for Trump. This is exactly what it is. Number three, energy policies, right? Trump intends to declare a national emergency, or energy emergency, right? Promoting fossil fuel drilling, reversing Biden era climate change policies, which he have already done. He has already done this already. So this is another thing. So these policies that Trump is setting up right now, this is going to be for a legacy. This is not just some temporary thing. It's not going to be like how it was when Biden got in there, hook or by crook, and things like that. He was able to undo a lot of things. Trump has done things where this is going to be, set up in the Constitution, set up legally, where all Americans are going to benefit, not some, all. Number four, territorial expansion, right? Now, this is big. We've done it before, right? We weren't around in the 1800s. When was Alaska purchased? Some of you guys can look that up. Excuse me. But at any event, Alaska, we bought that state, right? We bought the, Louisiana Purchase? Y'all remember that in your history class, history books? So we were then, California, we were expanding then. Texas, we were expanding then, you know what I'm saying? So this is not nothing new far as expanding of territory for America. So the president spoke of increasing America's wealth by expanding territory, right, and pursuing and manifest destiny into the stars. This is what he has to say, but I love it. Good play on words, but this is exactly what it is. You know what I'm saying? Because there's also more resources. He already declared it as a national security as well too, because we want to send China a message. We don't like them hovering around the Panama Canal. I talked about that yesterday, and it was great that we got that back under the treaty. You know, so we got that back. It should have been never given up, but with stupid Jimmy Carter, you know, that's what ended up happening. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm on the roll right now. Let's go ahead and go down the list here. So justice system reform. Trump criticized the weaponization, right, of the U.S. Justice Department and the promise to address what he calls a terrible betrayal. It was a terrible betrayal because we already know under Biden, he has weaponized the U.S. Department of Justice, the DOJ, the FBI, the CIA, as well as the media. This is why there's been a relentless, tear down, crackdown, Mar-a-Lago. You see what happened to people that was responsible for Mar-a-Lago, for them doing that illegal search and seizure. They broke his First Amendment right and his Fourth Amendment right. I talked about that yesterday. Going through, that never set well with Trump because, for them to go in there, go into Melania things and stuff like that. I already talked about this already. All those guys are fired. Got rid of them, as he should, because it was a violation on Trump's constitutional right. Whether you love him or hate him, you have to abide by the Constitution. But we know a lot on the left, they hate the Constitution. They don't like the Bill of Rights. They want it removed. They even talk about right now that they want the Electoral College to be removed. They are showing their dissatisfaction in America with their hatred, their rhetoric, and their lies that they've been doing. Now that they have busted for having a hand in a cookie jar with this slush fund thing that they have created right for themselves. And they thought that this thing was going to be forever. But there's a new day. There's a new sheriff in town, right? And he has deputized the people that are not part of the establishment. Can't get no plainer than that. This is why I said earlier, hopefully by the end of this live stream I'm doing, we could probably, probably convince some other people on the Trump train. Because as I stated before, we have plenty of room, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not a hater. Ever since Trump got elected, right, and sworn in, every day been a great day. So I don't know about for you guys, but for me, it's been a very great day because I see the policies, I see what's going on, and it's a beautiful thing when you're able to see like clear blue skies and seeing things over the horizon, and I'm visualizing it. Other than what the left is saying, because I don't listen to leftist news. So yeah. So other than that, this is where we are with this thing. So let's go ahead and go down the list. Cultural issues, right? He pledged to eliminate government sponsored diversity initiatives and to recognize only two genders officially. And we have always been under two genders. This is not nothing new. But we know with the left, they have been weaponized and to convince people and social media and all this other stuff. And this stuff started coming in since 2016, I do believe. But now that we have crushed that, and I'm going to show some pictures as well on some of these folks. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and do it right now. And then I'm going to get back on topic here. I just want to address some stuff, man, because I'm going to tell you guys, man, it's absolutely crazy. I mean, it really is crazy, man. And Yeah, that's why I say this is going to be something that we're going to talk about here. And we go ahead and pull that up. Okay. All right. There we go. Yeah. All right. Yep. So I'm going to go ahead and share this. I'm going to share this with you guys here. And I appreciate you guys coming on, though, you know. A lot of times I just treat these lives like the people that are around. I know Sherry is over there. I'm sure I know I know a lot of you guys are on there or whatever, but in any event, give her, you know, give her a little, yeah, she always likes that. Okay, let me go ahead and put this up here. I'm gonna share this, guys. And let's see here. All right. We want to share the new folder. Okay, let's see here. Oh, not new folder. I'm going to do the entire screen here. There we go. We're going to go ahead and do that. Allow. There we go. All right. So you guys see this here? Isn't it sad? And I don't mean to be a judgment on people, but we didn't have this nonsense before. Think about it, ladies and gentlemen. We did not have this type of misfit clown show. We didn't have this before. This type of stuff would be considered in the punk rock stuff. It was an expression and a rebellion, but in those, was it 70s, 80s? Y'all remember, some of you guys have been around. You remember punk rock, where some of this stuff was socially, even though it was never socially accepted, but we tolerated it, right? Because they didn't really have an agenda. Their thing was about rebel against the man, right? And all this other kind of stuff. You know, Billy Idol and all this other stuff. You guys remember? Remember that? So let's go ahead and show this again, though, you know? So this is what we're looking at here, right? Look at this. Look at this type of stuff. Isn't it something? This is, and some people, this is, you know, unfortunately, some people have grandchildren and children that's caught up in this nonsense. Yep. You got children that's caught up in this nonsense. Look at this stuff. You got women and men, bull rings, different color hair, and these are the ones that are tripping out that can't stand the policies. Trump is putting us back on the path of freedom, prosperity. They don't see this. And it's like, we've been reduced down to this. If it wasn't for Trump stepping up, this is what America's future is going to be. Just look at these photos, man. This is America's future. And I want to put this up here, right? This is America's future that we're looking at here. Now, I don't know about you, but is this going to get people married? Or is this going to create a bunch of misfits, right? Because that's what it is, freaks and misfits. Wouldn't want to marry this. And I know for you women, would you want to marry this here, this guy here? Is that what you think? Is that masculine? Is that a man? Is that masculine? Or is this feminine? What's going on here? This is not the America that I grew up in. We weren't doing this stuff. So I want to show you guys this, right? Because this is exactly what it is. America has turned into freaks and weirdos, right? It was on its way. But good thing about it is that this is the small minority group. And now that they are powerless, they can't cause any more trouble going into that slush fund, creating other type of oppositions, trying to block Trump, trying to be against America. And they're mad at the American people, as you guys already know. They are mad, but they can't do nothing about it. They are powerless, ladies and gentlemen. They really are. They're powerless. So I'm gonna keep this up here for a minute, and I'm gonna go ahead and go down through my through my talking points. Excuse me. So where was I here? So yeah, let's go ahead. I'm steady going down this list. So this is being shared. So I'm going down my talking points right here. So these are the talking points here on on my word, and things like that. So where was I? So yeah, they okay, said that here. Um, okay, pledge diversity, gender. Okay, number 7, foreign policies or foreign policy. Trump mentioned renaming, as we already know, the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America and reclaiming Panama Canal, which he already has. Right? Technological advancement, number 8, he emphasized on pursuing America's destiny in space and referring to Mars as an exploration. Number 9, right? Deregulation. Trump executive order suggests a focus on reducing regulations in various sectors, right? Number 10, American exceptionalism. The president repeatedly emphasized American greatness, right? And the country's ability to achieve the impossible, ladies and gentlemen. This is not the vision that any of us were looking for or wanted. And it look like I'm putting them on blast, and I kind of am. Because, again, this is not cool. This is, now that there's only 2 genders, we're not recognizing this buffoonery. We're not recognizing this stuff. This won't get you no job. Now it's merit-based. They don't have DEI. They're going to have to wash this stuff out their hair and take those bull rings out and make themselves look presentable. Because back in the days, you guys remember, if for many of you 80 babies, you wouldn't have gotten a job in the 90s looking like this. I'm sorry. You would not have gotten a job looking like this. In a corporate, they're over here in the government looking like this. It's just some offset misfits, And this is what was in Biden's cabinet. This is the people in California and all these other liberal areas. This is what they've been representing. Bunch of DEIs, right? This wasn't making America great. It was making America weak. We was being laughed at because this don't show any type of strength. The other nations wasn't taking us serious. They was over there laughing. China had a great time. And this was the Chinese experiment. I don't care what nobody say. This was the Trojan horse behind that TikTok. And this is what they ended up producing, and this is what we got. Look at this. Rainbow bright over here. You know what I'm saying? Now, no strength amongst any of them. Confused, crybabies, emotional, unstable, emotional damage. This is terrible, You got guys looking like women and women looking like dudes. This is terrible, man. I don't care what nobody says. This is bad. It ain't good. It's bad. And I'm just putting this out there for what it really is. And some of you guys may know some of these people. It is what it is. Look at this one here. This dude wants to be a woman, which you see the mustache. This is what this right here. Is this what we're doing here, ladies and gentlemen? That's what they've been doing. This is what they've been promoting. This is the type of stuff that they've been promoting. This is terrible. And it's about time that I start putting this foolishness on blast. And I got more of them too. Because a lot of times on my spare time, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if I told you guys, but I do like to troll their channels. I don't say nothing and make no comments. I like it when they cry, scream, yell, and throw tantrums. That's the greatest thing, and I enjoy out of the leftist, liberal lunatics. I love it when they have like these meltdowns, when they go catastrophic. I just love it when they do that, right? I just crack up. Me and my friend, I said, look at this. We send each other stuff, and look at this. Especially after Trump won. Yeah. This right here. This is the type of stuff right here. America can't be great looking like this, behaving like this, can't identify a gender. And some of these people are old enough to know, and they just look ridiculous. Look at this woman here. She looks ridiculous. She looks like she's about 40. Look at this here. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous, ladies and gentlemen. I had to address this though, and then some of them just looking like you can just tell that these people very, very eccentric, weird personalities, misfit behavior, you know, lack any type of confidence, never did anything great in their life, afraid of their own shadow for the most part of it. And they think that walking around here, don't get me wrong, people have the right for freedom and expression. But what makes this thing more dangerous, because if you were to ask them if they were free to say it, they would identify with different genders. We never had this before. We never had this before. One thing I can accept people with different color hair is if you know what the genders are, then it's cool because I just treat this like punk rock. But many of them would try to say that they identify with another gender. That's why I'm so glad that Trump wrote in an executive order that this stuff would not be funded, transgender, all this other kind of stuff, like I said before, this ain't a problem with LGBTQ, we want to add them all in, they're like 4% of America. How can 4% of America that have their own agenda and views try to make stuff fit? They've been weaponized by the corporations and political democratic elites to keep us divided. And they almost did a very good job in it until somebody in leadership had to put their foot down, and that was Donald J. Trump, a true American that truly loved America. And we didn't want the next generations in this weirdo mode. This is crazy. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what nobody say. This is crazy. Crazy. Cray, as they say, right? Remember that term, cray, crazy? Looking like serial killers and murderers and stuff, just rejects and misfits in society, And we already know if you really psychologically, some of them just don't look like they wrap too tight, try to have a conversation with them, isolated, introverted, extreme introvert, mental illness type of stuff going on, trauma, PTSD and whatever, was it post-traumatic? Yeah. PTSD, there we go, right? So that's enough of that. Let me go ahead on and move on. But I just wanted to show that for a minute, guys. So let me go ahead and go down the list. So let me see here. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, no comments. All right. Yep. So other than that, so where we are here, we're talking about number 8. Technological. I already said that already. Number 9, deregulations. Talked about that. Number 10, America's exceptionalism. I talked about that already. All right, let's go further on. So President Trump has outlined several specific policies to achieve his vision, right? So this is another thing to achieve his vision. So what do you mean? Well, talk about the border and immigration. So one of his things is the end, catch, and release policies, right? Because we know that the Biden administration, whoever heard of such a thing, catch and release, right? Number 2, restrain, right? Reinstate the Remain in Mexico program. I've talked about this many times on my other lives, right? Because if they're waiting asylum, everybody ain't going to get asylum, by the way, because once they get vetted, we find out what these people can bring to America, but you just can't come over here and say, well, I seek asylum, and no, they'll do that. And then you're going to remain in Mexico until you have cleared and passed the requirements, right? That's not a bad thing at all. Number 3, continue, right, to build the wall, the border wall. And that's what has to happen. Number 4, end the asylum for illegal border crossers, right? Which we have done that as well. We got this 20,000 troops, talked about this yesterday. What else? Crack down on sanctuary cities. That's already happening, ladies and gentlemen. We are getting our country back. Enhanced vetting and screening for aliens, right? Because again, look what ended up happening. They had an open border with the Democratic elites, And then you got these Democratic voters that was okay in it, black, white, and others. It's crazy as heck. Launch a large scale deportation operation, right? This is another thing, right? Which he have already have done it. Over 20,000 troops that's down there, right? Then we got the support of the Mexican government. Claudia Sheinbaum or whatever, yeah, she sent up troops over there on the southern border as well. Suspend refugee settlements. Yep, that had to stop. Yep, suspend that. Deploy the armed forces and National Guards to assist the border. This is what Trump did. This is what Trump did. I'm walking down all of the policies while we are in the golden age right now. Number two, let's talk about the energy and environment, right? Trump have already declared a national energy emergency, right? He did that. He ended Biden's climate policies, right? He ended that. He also streamlined permitting for energy production, right? Review and review and potentially rescind the regulations on energy productions and use. He withdrawed us from the Paris Climate Accord, open Alaska, right, to oil and gas development, pause offshore wind projects, because that new green scam deal, stop that. We don't need any of these tidal wind farms and all this other nonsense. Waste of money, waste of resources, waste of time. Number three, economy and trade, implemented tax cuts, reduce regulations. Man, we was getting hit with so many regulations, right? This is big, ladies and gentlemen. So we're gonna come from tax cuts, and then not only just the tax cuts, but ultimately Trump have said he's going to eliminate the taxes. This is a beautiful thing as well. Do you realize that when Trump was able, basically been able to complete his promises and the tariffs where every nation is going to be paying, there's no need to have taxes anymore. We didn't have them before 1913. 1870 to 1913. And that's where the income taxes was created in 1913. Prior to that, we did not have this. We didn't have this stuff. We made it on tariffs. We made it on our own energy resources and other things in manufacturing. That's how we did it. We were the number one manufacturing in the world, right? And Trump is bringing a good old American pride back, right? Reduce regulations, as I mentioned, freeze hiring on non-essential federal employees. Can't be no plainer than that. Non-essential, non-essential. Because why pay out money for these departments that's just taking money for what? Why do that? That can go towards something else. So this is what I'm on board with this stuff. Pause burdensome regulations not yet in effect. That's another thing. We need to do this because what will make any country great, you have to remove the regulations, deregulate the government, shrink the government down to 20%. 80% of the government, we don't need it. I don't care what the left is saying. We know we don't need it. We don't need a big, bloated, regulated government because they had a stranglehold on America since 1913. Have you noticed that since they have taken away the gold, right? They took the gold in 1934, FDR, right? Turn in your gold. This is our grandparents' era, right? They had them to turn in their gold. They actually robbed the country without blindly did it. They did it. They did it straight. They straight up did it. And ever since they have done that, removed the gold out of America, we've been getting inflation, ladies and gentlemen, and it's been going up over time. And that's what causes inflation, ladies and gentlemen. This is what's going on because the way that they got the Federal Reserve is just a big old printing press. It's nothing but loan sharking. The government out of control, government spending, the U.S. Aid thing that they've been doing, the slush funds and all this other stuff, especially with the Democrats. They had their hands in this stuff. Got caught with the hand in the cookie jar. I love it. So announce an American first trade policy. America first. And really, I'm really for people that's in this room, I'm really talking to you guys. It's more like an echo chamber at this point because I don't really get a lot of detractors in this room. But because the policies stand for themselves, I ain't got to argue against nothing. This has been great for me. Impose tariffs on foreign goods. Who don't want this? Oh, yeah, they're going to raise it up. It's going to be uncomfortable. Trump knows exactly what he's doing because he's prepping us, ladies and gentlemen, because America first. Our farmlands, our farmers. Shout out to John the farmer and Sherry the farmer. Those are my farmers. You know what I'm saying? So this is what it's all about. Number 4, government reform, right? To create a department of government efficiency, which he has done, which we know as DOGE. Return the federal workers, excuse me, to in-person work in the weaponization of government against the political rivals. Stop government censorship of speech, right? Number 5, social policies. And let me go, and I'm going to do this, ladies and gentlemen. Go on break for one moment. I will be right back. I got to go on break for a minute. Hold on for one moment here. I'm going to go on break here, and I will be right back after these messages, right? All right, ladies and gentlemen. Oops, hold on for a minute. Okay. All right. Let's see here, and I am back. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's go ahead and walk this down now. So number 5, social policies. Establish male and female as biological reality in government policy. Protect women from radical gender ideology, right? Remain, right? Rename American landmarks to honor our nation's history. There's a reason for these statues being here. Whether we have an ugly past, that's there to remind people. So therefore, we never forget. We never forget, ladies and gentlemen, because this is the problem. And what the Democrats were responsible, the Democratic elites, they were responsible, ladies and gentlemen, for when they wanted all these statues removed. They were trying to erase history, and it failed. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, yep. So this is basically what it is. So just go ahead and talking about it right here, right now. So let's go ahead and go down the list, though. And I'm going to mention something too, which is important before I go further down and things like that. So it's about liberty, right? It's about liberty, and we have to be able to understand this, right? Benjamin Franklin said this: those who would give up essential liberties to purchase a little temporary safety deserves neither liberty nor safety. Think about that. This is coming from Benjamin Franklin. And what did the American people do with 9/11? They gave up liberty, and they said you have to sacrifice a little freedom in order to be safe and secure. Thus, Homeland Security was built, and it was also a Trojan horse for other horrible things, which means people signed off on their freedom and their rights. Isn't that something? Isn't that something, ladies and gentlemen? So, again, this is his quote. Let me read it one more time. Benjamin Franklin said this, right? Those who give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserves neither liberty nor safety. So if you're willing to give it up, you don't deserve either. Plain and simple. Why should anybody would be willing to give this up, for just to be safe and secure? They had some plans for us, boy. I'm going to tell you, they had some plans, man. But again, Trump stepped up and handled his business. Now, it's going to go down further down the list here, right? So the law enforcement, right, designated certain cartels as foreign terrorists, seek the death penalty for crimes that's that's horrible crimes, horrendous crimes, including those against law enforcement officers, right? And then here it is again, though, and we're going to talk about this. While Trump has promised these policies will lead to the economic growth, prosperity, experts warn that some measures, right, this is what they're saying, particularly on the trade and spending, may conflict with his goals. This is what they're saying, right? Because I had to read this in here, so just to let you know. But Trump's goals of reducing inflation and debt, the success of the Golden Age vision, will likely depend on how effective these policies can be implemented, which they are implemented. Not if. Most of these policies and executive orders that Trump have already written, they have been implemented. That's the whole thing about it. He's actually, one thing about it, Trump is following out exactly, because we gave him a mandate. But we know how he got down before, back in 2016. And had he would have been more successful, but we didn't have the House, we didn't have the Senate. They blocked him on everything. However, look at the milestone that he's doing now. He's moving light years ahead. By the Democratic elites, they don't know the front and the back. They have no leadership, and we're going to talk about that again. All right, so let's go ahead and go down through it. Energy production. Trump's plan is to what? Increase domestic oil and gas production to to lower the energy costs, which he claims, right, will lead to large-scale decline in prices. Simple. Common sense, simple. That's exactly what will happen. Because if we were producing in America and we would produce well, inflation has to go down. It can't go up. How can inflation go up when we're producing? Domestic oil and gas production, lowering energy costs. That's why he declared it as an energy emergency, because America was not producing its own resources when it comes down to energy. We had to rely on other countries, right? And then for them to send it back here, we weren't even charging them no tariffs, but they were charging us to get the oil. Look at Saudi Arabia, OPEC, all this other crooked organization. They were getting over high hog off the land while we got nothing, right? Deregulations. Trump has signed a presidential memorandum ordering federal agencies to untangle the American economy from Biden's constraints. This is what Trump has already done, and improved affordable and goods and services. This would include eliminating regulations on home appliances and climate, right, policies that drove up food and fuel costs. Bam, it's right here. I'm reading it. It's right here, ladies and gentlemen. It's right here. Housing costs. The administration plans to lower housing costs and expand housing supplies. We have enough lumber in America. We don't need lumber from Canada. What is it? Oregon, Washington. We got a lot of lumber. Colorado, we got a lot of lumber in these areas, ladies and gentlemen, right? So here it is, right? So expanding housing supplies through specific details that are not proven. Healthcare. This is another big one. People have been waiting on this. Trump's aim to eliminate the unnecessary administrative expenses and rent-seeking practices in healthcare to reduce practices, right? Seeking practices in healthcare to reduce the costs. Because if we are producing, ladies and gentlemen, here, we're getting tariff tax from all these other nations, which is like 10%. Canada, Mexico is on hold. Trump already put a hold on that for a month so they can clean up their act. And once again, the only reason Trump did this because they have a fentanyl problem. They have criminals, fentanyl, been coming into America, killing a lot of Americans. He had to put his foot down. The Democrats would have let it go on, right? Okay, the labor market. The plan include creating employment opportunities and drawing discouraged workers into the labor force, right? This is another thing. Creating employment opportunities, right? This is another thing. Excuse me. Federal Reserve, one of my favorites. Trump has dedicated, he may pressure the Federal Reserve to lower the interest rates, potentially compromising its dependence. Because ultimately, we know that Trump is going to go ahead and remove the Federal Reserve. That's going to be coming ultimately, because the world, I would say the United States citizens of the United States, when they really see that the Federal Reserve have never been our friend, it's always been our enemy. And when people are seeing it right now, and they will find out that they are the ones that have been controlling the inflation. They are the ones that were printing money. They were the ones that got putting on the taxes on American people. They have done a lot of stuff with the Federal Reserve, which is nothing more than a loan shark and private bank. It's nothing federal about them. They don't even belong in our government at all. They need to be removed, and Trump is working on that. These are the reasons, ladies and gentlemen, why I voted for Trump. Trump promised. He's a man of his word. And everything I read, and most of the stuff he's already working on, already doing it. This is once again why the Democratic elites are having such a hard problem. They could take this stuff to court and they can try to sue. But the thing about it is that they can't get past the Supreme Court justice, because everything that Trump is doing, for the majority of it, is in concordance with it being legal as well as constitutional. See, because we know that the Democratic elites hate the Constitution. Trump loves the Constitution. I love the Constitution. But anytime you start hearing people talk about, well, yeah, what do they call that? I just said it earlier. Hold on for a minute. So as I can think, though, boy, one of those nights last night, still trying to wake up. But the Electoral College, right? You heard them saying that they wanted to get rid of this. That's unconstitutional. We have to have the founding fathers knew what they were doing by having electoral colleges, but I can see why they want to get rid of it, because if it just went on the popular vote, but Trump would have won that anyway. He won the popular vote as well. The Kamala didn't have the numbers, and they try to fake those numbers, right? Tariffs and immigration, right? So let's go ahead and talk about it. Trump proposes raising tariffs and deporting immigrants, which he already have, right? Actions that economists warn could actually increase inflation. This is the lie that the left is saying, right? Because they want the world in America themselves to say they are doing the jobs that Americans don't want to do. The reason that Americans are not doing some of these jobs that they're doing, because they come in here illegal, ladies and gentlemen, and they pay them half of what the minimum wage is. Do you absolutely thinking that they're making minimum wage being illegal? No, they can pay them half or maybe a little less than half. They're not making the same wages that American citizens are making. Are they going to complain about it? No, because they're saying, I'm here in America now. I mean, this is what they dream, to be an American, right? And that's all cool. We just want you to come through here in the right pathway to citizenship, because as an American, they will benefit better by being American, having a tax, or in this case, we're going to do away with the tax, but under the old system, they should have been vetted and they should have came through here in the right pathway of citizenship, because they don't pay into our taxes. They don't know anything about the Constitution. They don't care about politics. That's what I'm saying, though. Most of the immigrants don't care about none of that stuff. And how can you not care about this? Why you think America is great, right? Because we have a thing called the Constitution and Bill of Rights, right? We have the Declaration of Independence, and we have rights that the people decide, not the government. So with them, they let the government decide and give them privileges, as opposed to us having rights. Just one moment here. Let me put you on hold for a moment. Just one moment. All right, sorry about that. Sneeze and stuff. So yeah, so I'm going down in here, and this ain't even cooking. These are the policies under Trump. The stuff you say, we got to do as independents. We have to go ahead and do the stuff. Why can't you just? Well, we know why. Because again, we already know why. Because this is not journalism, ladies and gentlemen. It's not. It's not journalism. Real journalism is that you got to be neutral. And you're there to do a job, to tell the truth. Freedom of press. This is in the First Amendment. Freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of the press. Freedom of the press, ladies and gentlemen. Are these what we call legacy news media outfits or outlets, right? Have they been reporting the news like they should? No, they have not. They've been anti-American the whole time. They have been weaponized. It's real sad. but we're going to get down to it. So let's talk about Trump's and his outlined several specific measures to lower housing costs, right? So one of his first plans is the deregulations because he's been deregulating, you know. Trump's plan to eliminate regulations that drive up housing costs. You hear that? You got to get rid of the deregulations in order to bring the housing costs down. This is simple. A third, fourth grader will understand this, right? You can't get rid of how bringing costs and inflation down. If you don't get rid of inflation, if you get down to it and find out what's causing inflation, and this is what Trump have already figured out, ladies and gentlemen, it's nothing to wonder about or hope because Trump is a very smart businessman, right? He knows this stuff. Elon knows this stuff. You know how many people that's damn near halfway to $1 trillion, and then AOC wanted to downplay and call this guy stupid. AOC is on the fund, also on the USAID fund, though. You know, you don't make 10 million, whatever you don't make that kind of millions. She is dumb as a box of rocks. Come on now, you know we don't even have to go there. It's true. She's not very bright and not very smart. She sounds like she's still in high school, to be honest. Her voice is very irritating. I can't stand AOC just listening to her, man. Can't deal with it. Let's go ahead and go down through it. So he's going to fix the regulations, get rid of them to bring the housing costs down with the goal of cutting the cost for new homes in half. Go figure that. New homes cut in half. His administration claims that regulatory requirements account for 25% of the cost of constructing a new home. Isn't that something? Federal land use. Trump intends to open up portions of the federal land for large-scale housing construction. These areas will be designated as an ultra-low tax and the ultra-low regulations zones, right, to encourage development. Tax incentives. The administration plans to create tax incentives for home buyers. Those specific details have not been provided, but he will provide those details in time. But the tax incentives, that's going to be another great thing for home buyers. Immigration policy. Trump claims, and this is what he says, right? This is what's said. Trump claims that stopping illegal immigration will lower house costs, though the economist debates the effectiveness of this approach. Of course, the economist is going to debate this. You know why? Because the economists more than likely are on the payroll of the system that we're actually trying to get away from. They don't want this stuff going on. They want to keep the Federal Reserve there. They want to keep the IRS there. They want to keep the people taxed up the wazoo. This is their plan. This has always been their plan. And when they're aligning themselves with the Uniparty, Rhino Republicans, and the Democratic elites, they were always on board with this situation, ladies and gentlemen. This is why inflation is steady going up. This is why we don't have enough money. We're working more hours now. They have effed up our economy so bad. And this is under Clinton. That's why I remember with Clinton, with the NAFTA thing, outsourcing the jobs started happening because they were hitting American businesses with high regulations and taxes. They said, F this, I'm out. So this is why they're in China. This is why they're in Europe and these other countries, right? Because they can find cheaper labor over there. You can't have high inflation, then expect to hire Americans, though. The companies wasn't going to do it. They were the ones that created it in the first place since 1913. This is why we're in this. You notice that the news media never break this stuff down. And I'm not even an economist. but I can kick their ass on facts, excuse my French, because this is never meant to be complicated. It's simple. This is what's going on. You can't have a thriving society, excuse me, when you're hitting businesses with high taxes and regulating. Because when you do that, all it does is that it's going to run the companies away, which it did. Trump has an incentive to bring a lot of American businesses back here to America. And he's able to do that by offering them tax breaks. They're already seeing right now that Trump has been deregulating the political war machine, which is the Democratic elites. He's been dismantling, stopping, freezing, pausing. He's been doing all this stuff. And this is why the Democratic elites are going absolutely nuts. They're going nuclear right now because of what Trump has been undermining their pressures or plush lifestyles. All that stopped now, right? So I'm happy for that. In fact, I get an applause on that. Stopping the Democratic political war machine. It's a beautiful thing. I get another applause on that. I get another applause on that. The Democratic political war machine that has been out of control for a long time. And it's somebody that was man enough and balls enough to stand up against the political war machine, which is the Democratic elites. You know? And if you want to hate that, that's why I say this stuff doesn't make any sense, right? The political war machine, ladies and gentlemen, instead of being not erected, but the opposite of that is being taken down and dismantled, step by step by step, because he has crippled them. They don't have any ears no more. They can't use the CIA, the FBI anymore. They can't use the Homeland Security no more, right? So he cut off all communications, took care of their gotten rid of their clearances and so forth, so they can't cause any more trouble, and then stop the funding because they were being funded to do this stuff. You know, they were out here even under Obama thing. So Tulsi Gabbard told the truth. If any of y'all watched that, she said how Obama, right, was the ones he was responsible, right? Obama was the one that was responsible that have went after these political, put up new regimes in these other countries in the world and stuff like that. You know, funding these state terrorists and all the rest of this stuff. All this stuff is on record now. They can't hide no more, and that's why they're going crazy. All right, so study going down the list, right? So streamlining approves Trump's executive order aims to accelerate the new development of projects by streamlining the approval process, expanding housing supplies. As I mentioned before, the order directs federal agencies to take action to expand housing supplies, eliminating rent-seeking practices. The order calls for eliminating unnecessary administrative expenses and practices that increase the housing costs. So this is what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. All this stuff is going on right now. So we are looking great right now when it comes down to Trump's policies. I said I wanted to touch on the golden age because we are here, ladies and gentlemen. This is a great time to be alive right now. This is a wonderful time to be alive. And since it is a wonderful time to be alive, we have opportunities. We don't actually have opportunities that we never had before. Living in a free society, once again, that is not under regulations and things like that. So this is another thing. We're talking about a deregulation, a smaller government, right? Where the people will have freedom and as well as liberty in the pursuit of happiness, which we have been denied since 1913. We have not had a great quality of life. Maybe for the rich and maybe for the insiders, They could say like Chucky Schumer, Adam Shifty Schiff, and all of them. They could say that they had a great time, right? They could say they had a wonderful time. Nothing wrong with Bitenomics, right? Because they all were on the inside. They were in the club, crooked club, but while we suffer on taxpayers' dollars. Yeah, hold on for one moment, ladies and gentlemen. Got to go on another break. Got to go to the bathroom. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now I'm back. Yeah. So other than that, thank you for waiting and things like that. Many of you guys as repeat listeners, which I do approve. I'm very thankful for that, as well as approve. But I meant to say thanks for that. And yeah, just I'm always seem to be at my best when I'm in my studio because I have access to things and stuff. Hard to be on the road and then, what I'm saying? But other than that, it is what it is. And for the social aspects of it, I do enjoy talking to people, especially you guys or whatever, and things like that. I know you're over there doing other things, but the stuff that I'm seeing right now, this is why we don't have real journalism anymore. And we're going to have it. It's going to come back. As soon as Trump take care of what needs to be taken care of, because we gave him a mandate, he secured the border. He gotten a lot of dangerous criminals out of here. Some of them are in Guantanamo, over there, because we don't trust returning the dangerous Venezuelan gangs, MS-13, back to their countries, because all they're going to do is release them. I don't trust the Venezuelan government at all, the president at all. So we got to send them somewhere. Why not send them over there to Guantanamo? Send them there. Therefore, they cannot cause any more problems. Because this is the problem, though, ladies and gentlemen. As long as they've been released in America, they've been causing havoc. They've been it's been hell ever since. And one of the things about it is that we have to stop it, and we did stop it. So now we are coming back to our own. America will be respected again. So this is what I'm saying. I have read off his policies that has been effective. The Democratic elites, they are discombobulated. They have no leadership. And the way it's looking right now that slush fund has stopped, we won't see a Democrat in power for a very long time because they have been proven that they have been anti-American from day one. We don't care about the people and the naysayers and all that. You're going to always have people that can never get on board or the bandwagon of what is going on. Though you'll never have people like that, right? So that's why we call them never Trumpers, and that's okay. You could be a never Trumper, fine. That's cool. Never Trumper, Trump derangement syndrome. You're going to always have those people. But you notice that their voice is steady going away because once the media has been taken care of, I know Trump got something special for that. And they know it's coming, though, too. They know it's coming. There's CBS, NBC, ABC, MSNBC. They know it's coming. They know it's coming. And that's why it's called reckoning. I actually call this a reckoning, right? You know what it is. So yeah, that's the thing about it. That is the thing about it. So we are in a great situation right now. Hold on for one moment, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on for one moment. Got a little background noise. Hold on for a minute. Okay, sorry about that. So yeah, so other than that, so I got a comment on here. All right. All right. Let's see here. John says, "So you ready for the devil? The devil? What is it? Hold on for a minute, John. Hold on for a minute. You know I am with the words now. Hold on for a minute. Let me put that up a little bigger. This is what John says. Oh man. Yeah, the Della Villa stuff. What is it, John? You got to break it down for me, though, man. You know when my dyslexia kicks in on certain words. Advocate, you know. Yep. I know it's devil, right? I'm just gonna say devil's advocate, right? Because that may be a typo, but I'm ready for the devil's advocate. Go right ahead, John. I'm ready. I know that. I'm just teasing you. Go ahead, John. I know you're trying to say devil's advocate. Yeah, but go ahead. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for the devil's advocate. Go right ahead, John. Oh man, I know, right? Oh man. Go right ahead, John, though, you know. And like I said, man, this is all good. I'm ready for it. Yeah, the devils. Can you imagine if I wasn't ready for it? But yeah, John, I'm going full steam ahead. I put all the cards on Trump. I'm being honest. You know how I'm rolling though, man, because I never seen a president run this type of stuff before. I never in my lifetime I never seen this before, John. This is new for me, but it's exciting at the same time that we actually have a man that cares enough about America and peace, you know, not advocating war, but we will fight if we are attacked. He said that, you know, but I don't get it. I mean, some people, Trump derangement syndrome, you know, never Trumper, they're fine, but they're a small minority group, though. Like I said before, we got plenty of room. And I believe that when the economy start being repaired, I know what you meant, John. I'm just teasing you. I know what you meant, John. Can I tease about dyslexia? I could tease about it, though. I know what you meant. I know, right? Yeah, so, but other than that, though, yeah, you know, I'm also a wisecracker. I'm in a class clown and things like that. That's a way to get the bullies off you, man. You got to be funny, man. You got to be funny. You know, you got to be funny. Got to be funny. Yep, got to be funny, man. I make it funny, you know. Thank you so much. Thank you for the audience out there. Okay, John says there needs to be a big social listical change for a economic recovery. Let me see here, a social change. With that, okay, so let me ask you this, John. So with the social change, are you talking about like this stuff with the gender thing and all that? Okay, John says we have two generations that hate manual labor. Okay, okay. Yeah, we do though, John. But if taxes were cut and let's say we go and fast forward in the future, let's just say that there's no taxes and that we have, let me see, and they think a 40-hour work week is terrible. It's true though, John. It's true. It is true. Yeah, John. I mean, well, I'll say this though, man. Yeah. So with the social change for that, I think that's gonna, like you said, it's two generations. So we probably may be looking at another. Do you really think it may take another, John? Let me ask you this question before I say anything. Do you think it can take another two generations, like another 40 years, for people to, let's say, want to work, because I mean, you can kind of understand why they don't want to work, because it's like they're not making enough with the current economy and stuff like that, right? You got to put in long work hours and you're still not getting ahead. Now, I'm not making an excuse of that, but they grew up in a different time than we did, though, John. And it's not looking so great. You know, millennial, Zennial, especially Zennial generation, it's not looking great for them. They can't even fathom of buying a house, living with their parents, right? Can't afford this type of stuff. And maybe they're making like $100,000 a year. $100,000 for a single person. I mean, you know, but not for no family, you know what I'm saying? You know? So I understand on both sides, you know. I do. I do understand on both sides. But unless, like I said, if Trump was able to, which he's working on, getting this let's say the resources, energy resources, and the oil, the manufacturing, that has to happen. We know it's coming, but it has to happen. And those tariffs, that has to be that has to happen as well too, and things. So all this stuff that we're talking about right now, John, will actually go back into America itself, though. America, I mean, we know, but he wants to bring that $1 trillion debt down, and he got a plan for it. You pay them off. John said we have 40 trillion in debt. We will be paying income taxes for a while. Yeah, I mean, well, he said he's gonna cut them in half, and right now everybody's playing nicey nice with the tariffs. I believe in 2 years we can have that those income taxes paying half into almost none, but for the end of his 4 years, the way that they're going right now, because Elon Musk, they're working round the clock finding all kind of stuff. So they have, you got to admit, they have stopped a lot of the hemorrhaging and the bleeding that has been on since the Democratic elites. They have stopped that. They put brakes on that. So therefore, they can't go out here and create more debt and trouble. So look what they've been doing since they've been around, though. I mean, you know, for us in the White House, it's actually government spending. Government spending is the problem. That has always been a problem. And borrowing more money that runs up, and that's another thing. Debt and taxes, right? Debt and taxes. John says, let me see here, looking at it right here, I hope it doesn't take that long. In my 20s, I worked 80 hours a week, 7 days a week. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, though. We worked the 80 hours, but we were still able to see something, right? Versus today, it's worse today, though. We were at least able to see something. What was the minimum wage was $3.35 an hour, John. You remember that? So $3.35 an hour was minimum wage, right? So you can go out and get a soda pop for under $1, right? Back in the 80s, right? And I remember some of this stuff, you know. You can get a bag of potato chips and a soda pop for maybe about $1 and maybe a little bit of change, maybe cheaper than that. But I do remember that as a kid versus today, you know, that don't amount to very much at all because of inflation, government spending, and, you know, we already know with the gold and silver that they have, because we're not even on the gold standard yet. But I know that's coming, though. Cryptocurrency, all that stuff is coming. Hopefully, John, and hopefully the way that Elon Musk and them been working light speed and finding all kind of stuff, and they have been chopping down our government, deregulating, getting rid of a lot of the regulations, because the regulatory spending that they've been doing, which caused the debt to go up. It's all government spending anyway, not the people, it's the government. That's where the problem is, you know. So they're doing a good job in that, and I know they can get this stuff down, because in order for us to have a thriving economy, as you already know, man, we have to actually take care of home first. Home first, right? America first, home first. This is what we have to take care of. But yeah, I got you though, man. I totally understand where you're coming from with this thing, man. But we'll see though. We'll definitely see. It's going to be one of these things that's going to take a little time. Half, paying half. But John says, bro, I made $5 an hour. Now you're in New York, so here in Michigan, back in the '80s, it was like $3.35 an hour. But again, our sales tax here in Michigan, John, is like 6%. 6% sales tax here. What's New York? 8 or 9? What is it? 8% in New York, and things. But we're 6% here. Here in Michigan, we're 6% sales tax, right? The state tax is what it is. 6% for the state taxes. Unlike some other states where it's a lot higher. California, we know, is very high. You know what I'm saying? Canada, Toronto is extremely high. I can't afford to live in Canada, man. You know what I'm saying? Even with American money. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it was $3.35 an hour here back in the '80s. And then, more inflation started kicking in. I saw the changes from the '80s to the '90s, '90s to the 2000s. Stuff started going up, like rent, right? Usually I got a nice little place, like a 1-bedroom for like $400 and some odd dollars, even cheaper than that. But $400 and some odd dollars would have got you a nice 1-bedroom apartment, right? Back in the '80s, right? John says they have made great progress. I'm just saying, in the short term, there's going to be pain. Yeah, it's going to be some pain about that. I'm glad you're bringing that up because it's not going to be a smooth transition when he started with these tariffs and stuff like that. Because I think with Canada and Mexico, because he gave them he put a suspension. He suspended that. So 25% on those countries. But all he just said, okay, you got 8% of your state. Okay. So all he said was just simply this, though, right? And you know what Trump said. He said, if you guys get rid of, handle the drug epidemic that's over there, because the fentanyl is the number one thing that's killing all these Americans. He said, if you guys can stop that, it wouldn't be no tariffs at all. Instead of Canada, if anybody, Mexico is cooperating. Canada refuses to cooperate for some reason. So is there a cartel that I don't know about in Canada as well? There's a lot of corruption, but it sounds to me that they got some cartel issues over there too. They don't even have the population that we do here in America. That's another thing. They're a small population group. It would hurt Canada way more than it would hurt us. What is it that they're only importing to America like 20%? That's not really a whole lot, though, to be concerned with. Only 20%. Trump already ran the numbers, though. You know what I'm saying? If they're only producing and bringing in the country 20% and things like that, you know what I'm saying? Is that 20%? Yeah, 20%, I believe it is. Yeah, John says, I moved all the way to Texas for $10 an hour job in the 90s. Yeah, I can see that because Texas is Texas. Even right now, I got to pull up what the minimum wage is in these other places. But yeah, Texas, I could see that being $10 an hour back in the 90s. That would be considered good ass money. Are you kidding me, John? Back in the 90s, that is considered good money. Shit, I would have done it if I would have known about it, had my shit together. I would have done that, man. Went to another state for $10 an hour. You know what I'm saying? $10 an hour back in the 90s was a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot you can do with it versus today. But yeah, we didn't even have this problem. Now, we had problems with illegals. I will admit that. But we never really had an open border policy until recently. And that happened under Biden administration. We never had an open border policy, even with Obama. And Obama was tough on immigration too. He was very tough on immigration. But I will say that about him, the great deceiver and the fallen Messiah. Yeah, he was very tough on immigration. But we never had this. I didn't like the DACA thing though. That I didn't like that, but they were very, very strict and very, very strong on. I will say that about Obama. You know what I'm saying? But with the Biden administration, open border, man, and this is a major problem, man. We got a major issue going on with these illegals. But the way the Democrats are going, man, I don't see it though, John. I don't see them being in power, man. Now it ain't just me, but I don't see them being a force to be reckoned with because the SAFE Act that Trump going to put it in place, mandatory ID for voting, same day voting, and paper ballots and stuff like that. So it's a new day, man. It is a new day. So we don't have anything to worry about in regards to that, though, you know. But I wanted to bring this back up again, man, because that's the thing. But let me see here. Let's go to bring this back up here. Hold on for a minute, John. There we go. You know, I talked about this stuff before, John, you know. And some of you guys have children, nieces, nephews, grandchildren, and so forth that may look like this. That's why I got to be kind of careful with what I'm saying because even though I am still telling the truth about it, but look at this here, man. John, look at this is like you said. Does any of these people want to work 40 hours a week? No, they don't. They don't want to do that. Most of them, if you were to ask them, they probably want to be a content creator or something. You know what I'm saying? Even I got to work. You think I'm getting paid off this stuff? No, absolutely not. I'm not getting paid off this stuff, man. Look at this. You know, this is the thing about it, man. Look at this. Yeah, I got to keep bringing this point back up. Look at this right here, you know. This is the issue right here. Yep. It is an issue. And it's a problem though. And look at this situation, man. It'd be nice if we didn't have to deal with this type of agenda. They've been pushing this agenda with this TikTok thing. What is it? China. It was the Trojan horse, man. They were the ones, for what I did in my research, they were the ones that came up with this whole multi-gender thing. Because China was trying to weaken us, John, and you should know this, right? They were trying to weaken us from within. China can't deal with us headstrong. But if you can bring up some type of political regime, get people to separate people, the best way you could separate people is through gender. Get them to come up with all these pseudosciences about how there's more than one gender and get people confused on the issue and set up political policies to protect their interests and to divide us because we were being divided and they were weakening us too. Rainbow flags up. Not in any of these people here. I don't feel comfortable with them being in the military. Are you kidding me? This is what our military was going to be produced to. They were going to reduce our military to this here. You're going to go out on the battlefield looking like this, holding up the rainbow bright flag. This is sexy. This is what's going on. Look at this. Look at this. This is the problem, right? Look at this. This is the problem. Look at this. Look at this right here. This is the problem right here, ladies and gentlemen. This is the problem right here. This is the problem. This is the problem. This is what they were producing. They were producing this, man. They were producing, this is in our army. What's it, General Milley? This is what they were producing in the army. You got generals cross-dressing. This is terrible. This is supposed to be socially accepted. Why in China I don't see them dressing like this? They don't do this in China. You know Xi Jinping will never allow this. But they push this Trojan horse here in America. But there's most countries in the world, what's his name? Vladimir Putin wouldn't even go for this. Kim Jong-un wouldn't even, and I may be using bad examples. But one thing I got to agree with them on, because if they would be pushing this trash culture onto their generation, it was designed to destroy their generation. And this is what they were doing to the American people. They were destroying our youth And you got grown ass women and men that's on here as well. This is how bad and how sick this parasite cancer is spreading into America. Look at this. This is the problem. This goes back to your point earlier, John. Does any of these people that you're seeing right now are going to work a 40-hour shift, go out here and do all this stuff? Now, maybe 1 or 2% of them. I really don't think a lot of them. I pick these people up, taking them to work, man. They have this long look on their face. They're mad, some of them. They hate going to work. I'll drop in the brother and sister off, taking them to Red Robin, yum. You know, so I dropped them off over there. Now her brother spoke to me, excuse me, you know, but his sister did not say one word. And I seen the scowl on her face. She had like this sour look on her face, like, oh my gosh, I got to go to work. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but to your point, yeah, I do see that. But this is what it is. Look at this. Look at this. This is exactly what's going on. This is what it is. So yeah, so it's not really a whole lot of well, I'm glad that Trump stopped this. It needed to be stopped. And we put an end to it, right? Because this is what we voted for. We gave him a mandate. And everything Trump has been read off, he's been following true and true. So yeah, so that's the thing about it though, man. This right here cannot spread over. We had to stop it. We don't want this stuff. We don't want this filth in our schools. We don't want them teaching these gender ideologies or transgender ideologies. We want this stuff stopped. We gave Trump a mandate, and he's carrying it out, and I have no problems with it. And we're going to preserve and save the future generations, because this type of nonsense has to stop. There has to be some type of accountability and responsibility. We can't go on as a society, especially American society, looking like this, queer and weird. We can't. This is not cool. Spooks and kooks. This ain't cool, man. This ain't cool. This is not what America is about. You know, we stand for family values, being resilient, and overcoming opposition and things. This ain't even military material, man. This is sad. This is sad. And this one was in our military. Are you kidding me? You know, you got people in mustaches and I want to be a woman and all this other kind of nonsense. It's terrible, man. We had to get the men out of the women's sports. We don't want them in the women's bathrooms. We don't want this type of foolishness at all. And I'm glad to be talking about this at the end. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's a beautiful thing though, John. But yeah, man, this is the type of thing, man. Let me see what you read here. So John says there need to be more tech schools teaching trade and less emphasis on college. College should be something you do after some work experience. I agree. We need to bring back more tech in the tech industry. We need to bring that back. And more tech, heating and cooling is a good one. Mechanics, like working on cars, automotive, doing brakes, doing engines, repair work, transmissions, axles, all this other kind of stuff, from changing a tire to a battery. These type of things should be, you know what I'm saying? Because that's important, you know what I'm saying? And what about HVAC? HVAC is, I got a friend of mine that study HVAC, putting those ducts in the industrial businesses and stuff like that, in the warehouses and things like that. You can't be afraid of heights. But yeah, the ones that set up the HVACs, putting the air conditioning units on top of the roofs and all that type of stuff. So yeah, we definitely need more people, John, to be able to do that kind of stuff, you know, and many, many more, you know. Yeah, exactly. So that is basically what it is right now. I'm going to stop this. Got enough of looking at that, though. I'm tired of looking at that. I am tired of looking at that. So, yeah. So, other than that, though, ladies and gentlemen, this is exactly what it is, though, you know. So, I'm going to get ready to head on out to work. But I said I wanted to talk about this. John says that's why a Black Hawk helicopter ran into passenger jet. Yeah, exactly. Because they don't know. I mean, that was scary though for him to be in a Black Hawk helicopter like that. How you gonna fly? Now I know a little something about it, but I ain't gonna take on that type of responsibility. I'm not gonna get in no Black Hawk. And even if I did know how to fly a Black Hawk, I would know the autonomer, as far as the what's that, autonometer, you know what I'm saying, the autonomer. I would have to know, like you said, to be able to set it at a certain type of level. Because if it is a 200 ceiling and I'm flying at 400, that's a problem. That's a problem, though. That's right in the flight path of the airplanes descending down to land. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Even a half of a brain dummy would know that. John says roofing, plumbing, farming, etc. Yeah, and that's another thing. Roofing, yeah, that's going to be a need. Plumbing is always a need, and things like that. These skilled laboring jobs, contracting, carpentry, these things are still needed. People are still buying homes and stuff. So yeah, so hopefully when we'll see it start to turn around, it's better than saying that, hey, I want to be a content creator when I grow up. That's pretty sad to hear a lot of the youth say that. You know what I'm saying? Because it ain't glamorous doing this type of stuff. You don't make money off this stuff. It takes years. You got to be consistent. They're in it for the bag. I mean, in it for the money anyway. You know. So that's the thing about it, though. This is not something that I would say, well, yeah, what do you do? I'm a content creator. Other than being successful, everybody can't be a Joe Rogan, you know. Joe Rogan been doing his stuff, stand up comic, build himself up. You know what I'm saying? There's comics that do this too. I ran podcast shows. In fact, John, I'm thinking about reopening and creating a podcast with the same stuff I'm talking about. Thinking about doing that too, podcasts. And I've done podcasts before though. I like podcasts. Podcast is cool. You know what I mean? Yeah, podcast. So other than that, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, it's been cool. Let's see. John says, I have a neighbor who will start the right person, $20 an hour, teach them HVAC installs. That's how short workers are. Yeah. HVAC, they make a lot of money though, that's for sure. You can take care of a family and things like that, and you ain't got to worry about job security. You're going to be always in demand. That's a skill that can last forever. And yeah, nothing wrong with it though at all. We used to have a lot of skilled laboring jobs. I had an uncle that was a licensed electrician. I studied a little electrician. Being up under him just for a little bit, and far as studying electrician, and stuff like that. E over I times R. Yeah, so that's the thing about it. It does take some type of math involved in it, but yeah. Hopefully, John. What about the TV repair people, right? Remember back in the days in the '90s, though, especially they had TV repair. Well, in the '90s they started falling off a little bit. They still had them, but yeah, they had the TV repair, the tube, the CRT tube, right? You had that, man. The TV repair people. You know what I'm saying? And I remember that, though. Who remember taking their TV in to get it repaired? You know what I'm saying? But they got the flat panels. They're a little bit more throwaway today. I don't think that the people today, John, that work on the way they make that stuff, because it seemed like the soldering, going in there, replacing some resistors and things like that, capacitors, in order to be able to make that flat panel TV work instead of throwing the whole thing out. Apple do the same thing, though. Nobody's repairing anything no more. You notice that? They are not repairing nothing no more. People have lost the art of fixing things electronically, which is scary. You know what I'm saying? That's scary too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. So yeah, just talking about this and going through some stuff. But other than that, guys, I'm about to go ahead and end this live stream. I appreciate you guys for listening to me. I'm about to go out here and get it and things. But other than that, you guys know what to do. I appreciate you guys. As always, like I got this going into Twitch and X as well, though. Shout out to people out there on X. Yeah. people on X, ladies and gentlemen, as well as on Twitch. Shout out on Twitch as well. You gotta go ahead and do that too. People with Twitch. All right, here we go. Shout out to John. You know, we got John in the house, though. Still give a shout out to Omega anyway. Go ahead. Yeah, gonna give a shout out though. We're gonna give a shout out to the beautiful, lovely Sherry. I know she always liked that harp. She loves that harp. John says, I took 2 years of that in high school and decided that weren't for me. Yeah, I understand that though, man. That's why I didn't pursue it either. I didn't find like electrician. I didn't find it to be very interesting. I have soldered stuff. I replaced capacitors and resistors and all that stuff from radios and amplifiers and all this other stuff. But the thing about it is, and I do know how to solder. I do have that skill, but I didn't really. It wasn't something that I really, was like rah about. John says I did a half a day and a half a day at a tech school. Yeah, I did the same thing. Vocational career center. I did it for art though, but remember where you can learn how to. They had shop mechanic. You know what I'm saying? Thanks, John. Yeah, they had shop mechanics and all that other stuff too. So that was a great skill though too. Had a whole car over there, wood shop, working with wood. Yeah, man. All right then, John. All right then, Sherry, and and the other family as well. I appreciate you guys. I got to go and make that money. Yeah, but we're gonna have another conversation again. Because there's a lot of stuff I can't even keep up. There's so much stuff going on right now politically. I can't even keep up with it. Let alone the media can't keep up with it. So I appreciate you guys, man. I really, really do, though. Get my applauses in, things like that. Yeah, there you go. Get your applauses in. And what we say, Tom Holman?
We're going to take whatever resources we have. We're going to start on day one, and we're going to start the deportation operation. We're going to secure the border, and we're going to find, look to find over 300,000 children that were smuggled in the country and released by the sponsors. So day one it starts. We're going to do as much as you can with what we got.
Yeah, Tom Holman sounds like the Godfather, doesn't he? He sounds like the Godfather before I go, How about, what does Kamala have to say? That's right, Kamala. Yeah, that's right. He's going to go to jail.
We're there after.
I'll let you choke her, doesn't she?
I was waiting for you to say it. Loved it. You're like, how sure was I for doing this?
What?
You may clap.
And your answer is part of the job.
So. Okay, she don't need that.
I'm sure.
Okay. You're welcome. Pull out a Venn diagram.
Oh, boy, man. Isn't that something, though? What you got to say about that, Trump?
Problem is that our leaders are dumb.
Yeah, man. This is crazy, man. Yeah, man. Boy, Charlie Kirk went live on X. It says here, join the Gaza thought. I'm looking at it right now in the notifications. Doge, Senator Schmidt-Benz, talking. I guess he'll be talking about that. I don't really listen to Charlie Kirk very often, let alone other content creators, not very much. But they're on X over there though, so yeah. But other than that though, man, I'm about to go out here and make that money, make that shmoney, shmoney. That's what we call it. Oh yeah, I got to do one more thing though too. Sherry missed this. I know she listening in the background. Sherry, I got an upgrade for you. There we go. There you go, John and Sherry. I feel like I'm out there on the phone right now. Hold on, what did Kyle say? Not a bovine. Yeah, a lot of bovine though, right? Mm-hmm. Oh man.
You're a crook. You're a cheat and a swindler. That's what you are. How can you do a thing like this?
That's what we're gonna be saying about this USAID slush fund thing, you know. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Why the fuck you lying?
Why?
You always lying?
Let me get out of here. I'm sorry, guys. I gotta get out of here, man. But hey, you know. But yeah. So other than that, yep, they get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir. That's what I want to. When I get them out of here and get fired, I want that, and also, yeah, Chuck Schumer. This is what he should be happy right here. This is a slap right here, right? This is what should happen, right? Yep.
So you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Good day, sir. You know. All right, I am out for real, for real. I appreciate you, John, for participating as you always do. Sherry, I know she always listening in the background, though. I know she heard the cow moo thing going on, you know. Yep, so that is all good, though. So we're steady taking down the evil empire, you know. Steady getting rid of them, though, you know. Yeah, getting rid of that, you know. Boy, I should have been in Hollywood, though, doing that laugh. Talking about Mark Hamill, right? Yeah. Other than that, though, I am out. Thank you guys for listening. Please like, comment, and subscribe and things, and look for me on another live. I'm gonna try to do more here at home, though, you know. But I appreciate you, though, you know. I really do. Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Put that over here. All right. There we go. All right, guys. And y'all take care. I am out.